Welcome to the Future of Talent Management at Deutsche Telekom. This is not just a revision of talent management, but a complete overhaul. Why have we had to do this? Firstly, because the nomination was purely mechanical, a tick box by manager, and there was no further validation required, which resulted in low quality. Secondly, we had about 1,000 people that we've taken through this process, but only a few really developed. There wasn't a link to succession and there wasn't a link to strategy. We had to address that. As a result, placement of talents has been relatively low historically. Less than 5% of executives, for example, were filled with talents. And overall, this resulted in a very low CSI, only 3.5 out of 10. Clearly something has to change. The primary focus of talent management has to be to ensure that we are aligned to the strategy of Deutsche Telekom, that we have identified the people that will take us forward into the digital future and who have the skills and the capabilities and the drive to take us where we need to go. We therefore want to aim to identify top talent early in their careers and grow and place them in key roles for the future. In order to address this strategic alignment, we have talked extensively to the business about the areas where they foresee biggest demand in the years to come. We have clustered those roles into 6 specific areas. Each of those areas will have a patron at board level, business sponsors who will work with the talent team to constantly review and update the roles and requirements, and talent brokers aligned to those areas so that they can develop really deep business understanding and be able to talk business to business. Having reflected on the challenges we've had with talent management historically and the demands of the business going forward, what then is the solution? We believe it is the creation of a hub which is supported by a very simple 4-stage process of identifying talent, validating talent, growing talent, and most importantly, placing talent in the roles where they will make the biggest impact. The first phase of the new Talent Hub approach is identify, and there are 3 elements to this. The first is to identify the requirement, the demand for talent in the organisation in the short and medium term. The second is to use the People Day process to identify potential talents so that we can have a multidimensional discussion around potential talents and therefore get a richer nomination process. And finally, new to this process is self-nomination. We want to give everybody across the organisation to put themselves forward for Talent Hub in order to ensure that we have a real diversity of gender, of generation, of function and of geography within the hub. The validation phase is designed to ensure a strong connection between the quality of the talents in the hub and the demand for talent that was identified in phase 1. The professional assessment consists of an online tool and followed by a structured interview where we dive into the 4 A's to make sure that there is a strong match between the definition of talent and people coming into the hub. We also assess and discuss with people the best cluster for them to be part of. Following successful completion of the professional assessment, there is then a business validation, where a long list of candidates is discussed with the business sponsor to make sure once again that there is a really strong alignment between the colleagues going into the Talent Hub and the requirements of the business going forward. With this Talent Hub approach, there is not a time-limited membership of the Talent Hub. Rather, we're looking to work with people over a period of time to ensure that they are accelerated through and able to reach their potential as fast as possible, but we are not setting time limits. Also new to Talent Hub is the role of the talent broker. As well as working closely with a business to identify demand for talent, they will work with the individual members of the hub in a cluster basis to ensure that they have personal plans and that they are accelerated, coached and mentored to reach their potential in as fast a time as possible. However, we are not time limiting this program and therefore people are likely to be in the hub for a couple of years rather than the 12 months and hope something happens approach that we've had in the past. The final and most important part of this whole process is the place phase. After all, that is the whole purpose of why we run Talent Hub. There are two elements to this. Talent brokers will work with leadership consultants. They will also work with recruiters across the business to identify roles and make sure that the talents are first in line for consideration when those roles come up, providing, of course, that they support the strategic missions that we identified at the beginning of the program. The second thing that we will be doing is creating a talent marketplace, which is a standalone platform which will allow talents to share their experience, their talent, and connect with other talents within the hub. It is also where recruiters will be able to search for talent in order to bring them to the roles where they can add the most value in the fastest possible time. To underpin this entire process, we have gone back and asked ourselves, what does talent mean to telecom? And come up with a new and very focused definition of talent for the organisation for the coming years. The first of our forays is achievement, and this is where we look back at the track record of the talent to date. We're not just looking for somebody who has had a number of jobs over a number of years. What we are looking for is a strong track record not only of progress but also of delivery and, most importantly, of impact. The next three elements of our definition are all to do with potential, looking forward. The first of them is ability. Does the individual have the capacity to be able to develop further and at pace? Next, attitude. Do they have an outward mindset, a growth mindset? Are they agents of change? Are they looking to make a difference and drive things forward? And finally, ambition. Because without ambition, ability and attitude will not be enough. The individual needs the hunger to grow, to take on more challenges, and to really translate that potential into action. The arguments around why diverse teams are more productive and efficient are well rehearsed, so I won't go through that now. But we will be making sure that we have a really strong diverse mix within the Talent Hub. The four areas that we will look at are geographical diversity to ensure that we have a mix of cultures and mindsets, functional diversity to meet the demands of the new roles going forward, generational diversity, not only to pick up people early in their careers and ensure that we are able to accelerate them through, but to make sure that we have that mix of different attitudes and mindsets to challenge and to improve. And finally, gender diversity to ensure that we have a mix of male and female across the Talent Hub with all the benefits that that brings. We've talked a lot about business benefit, but what about talent benefit? Why would anybody want to join the hub? If you talk to talents, you find that they want roles with purpose, they want to make an impact, and they want to be future fit. And we believe membership of the hub will deliver that for them, because they will have a higher chance of getting an impactful role or project by being part of the programme. We will be able to connect them to development opportunities across the silos and connect with thought leaders. They will get valuable personal feedback and self-assessment opportunities. And most of all, they will be part of a network of like-minded people. We call this proof of quality because what they should be able to see when they look around them is people like them, but who will also stretch and challenge them. And actually being part of Hub will become an aspirational goal for a lot of people in the organisation. So what are we asking of you as executives at Deutsche Telekom? The first thing is to be aware of the new talent approach, to get familiar with it, to ask questions, to engage with it, and if at all possible, to promote it. The second thing is to bring your talents into People Days, people in your organisations that you think would benefit from being in Hub, but more importantly, you believe have a contribution to make to Deutsche Telekom in the years and months ahead. And we also want, during the People Days, for you to be a challenger, to ask your colleagues and your peers where their talents are, and to engage in an exchange about the people that are brought to the table. We would like to ask you to encourage your talents to self-nominate, and we're able to offer this for executives in Germany and all talents internationally in 2020. We hope to extend it to non-executives in Germany in 2021 once discussions with the social partners are successfully concluded. And finally, take a moment to think about you as a talent. If the new definition talks to you and you're open for new challenges, then please think about self-nomination. Reach out to the talent brokers and talk to them about the opportunity to see if you want to join the Hub. This slide shows in more detail the process that we've just talked about, how People Days and self-nominations feed into the validation process, how validation process is then managed between the talent broker and the sponsor, and upon successful completion of the validation process, the individual is invited to join the Hub. Most importantly though, at point 8, is that whether you are a member of Hub eventually or not, we want everybody to take away good experience and good feedback from this process. We are not saying to people who don't join the Hub that they are not talented. Far from it. Most of the people who have put themselves forward will be high achievers who have had great success in telecom and will continue to thrive in our environment. The message here is that right now, this is not the program for you. There are many other programs across Deutsche Telekom which will support you in the next stages of your career, and we look to signpost those for people. Bottom line, anybody who comes into the Talent Hub process should go away with feedback and with ideas for growth in the future, whether or not they join the Hub. We are right at the very start of rolling out the Talent Hub approach. As mentioned earlier, in 2020, we hope to focus on working with executives globally and non-executives outside of Germany and bringing them into Talent Hub. Starting in 2021, we want to be able to work with non-executives inside of Germany, either as tariffs or exempts, either level, working with those individuals and again looking at whether or not we can bring them into the Hub. This, of course, is all subject to confirmation of the process and validation of the process by the social partners. Until that happens, we will not be working with colleagues in Germany at non-executive level. Beyond that, we want to move to a fully digital global talent marketplace, and we want to have that by 2022. Discussions are already advanced about potential partners and platforms to facilitate that activity, and we hope to have something in the second half of 2021 once Talent Hub is fully populated. So, what's new in Talent Hub? Let's sum it up. Firstly, and most importantly, Talent Hub is fueled by demand for talent in the future. We have a new potential assessment built around achievement, ability, attitude and aspiration. We have new ways into the Hub via People Days and self-nomination. We are going to be working with a smaller number of people over a longer period of time to make sure that we have a real strong match between potential and opportunity. We have very clear criteria that we will use to work with talents throughout the 4 phases of the programme. We have a new role of talent broker. The talent brokers will work with business to identify roles, with the talents to develop and coach them and help them create a personal development plan. And finally, again, with business to make sure we have a real strong alignment between demand for roles and talents to ensure a much higher placement ratio in the future.